look,
that you can say on air, my friend.
I can only imagine these power broker conversations going on right now. And I just, the shock and the most vocal, visible shock titan that this is happening is obviously Bill Ackman. Okay, and what it is these people that are up in arms about this are responsible for it. Okay, they're 100%. They've gone along with every left-wing cause. When your underlying political philosophy is a weather vane, right, and you're just trying to make yourself seem virtuous and virtue signaling at every single news cycle and everything that happens about, whether it's BLM or the Southern Poverty Law Center or it's this or it's that. And then it all leads to communism because that's where the left roads lead to. Like, and now we're here, and instead of saying, hey, I actually need to stand for something, let's try to make things, let's have an underlying political philosophy, not just let's sell out anyone and everything just to make a dollar and act like we're these great people because we give to all these nonsense causes. So it's, I would love, I don't know what I would say, but I really would love to be a fly on the wall in that meeting, especially Jamie Dimon, given how much money he just spent building. And for the viewers that don't know, they just built like 4 or 5 buildings right in a small radius to get all their workforce in a really close proximity in the center of Manhattan. Jamie Dimon is very long Manhattan. So, yeah, that's going to be a doozy.
So are they going to roll over and play dead on this, basically, and just try to... your tax on the millionaires...
I know. You're welcome.
Millionaires is probably going to go a little further down than the millionaires.
If you can get it passed. But I think Bernie Sanders is 100% correct. If you look at... We're going back almost a decade here. If it wasn't for the powers that be in the Democrat Party, that basically stole the primary from him in 2016 and in 2020, he would have been the nominee twice. So the Republicans had Trump come through. He's our right-wing populist. Okay, left-wing populism is here. Populism is here. Okay, the problem with left-wing populism is it takes all of us in this room, sitting at this desk, lines up against the wall, and gets a shot in the head, right? That's where we know where left-wing populism leads us. But it's here. There were a lot of voters that voted for Trump, that voted for Mondami, because he was the only candidate talking about how unaffordable life is for those that are not in this top 1%, 2%, 3% of income earners. And that's the same thing that happened in New Jersey. It's the same thing that happened in Virginia. This populism, these dinner table items are here. They are here to stay. And this left-wing populism is devastating, but we have an administration, who I am a huge fan of, that's gallivanting all over the world, solving the world's problems, while inflation here remains a problem. And so we can reverse course for the midterms, and you can head this off at the pass if the federal government, meaning the Trump administration, refocuses all of its energy and works on the cost of living and the other problems at home, and we won't have Mondamis. You can blunt left-wing populism by winning with right-wing populism, and there's a lot of Republicans that need to get on board with that.
Quick exit poll question. How many weeks before Mamdani completely...
Answer, and then I want your thoughts on if the equity markets are reacting to this or not.
Yeah, so I think this sell-off we're seeing is 100% the shutdown.
Really?
Not like the negative effects of GDP, if you will. So first of all, in this earnings season, 2 out of 3 companies have beaten their estimates by 1 standard deviation, which is amazing. All right. At the end of June, we were looking at 4.8% growth for this quarter. The estimates going in were 8. We're tracking north of 12. Yeah. This has been a fantastic earnings season, yet stocks are sitting still. Why is that? Okay, U.S. dollar strength. Okay, why is the U.S. dollar getting stronger? Because the Treasury General account is filling up with dollars because we can't spend them. So there is a lack of dollar liquidity that's out there. And I'm telling you, if we were to end the shutdown, say tomorrow, within 2 or 3 weeks, the market would come rip-roaring back because over $1 trillion will get pumped in. That's just sitting there in the Treasury's bank account that's going to be followed on by the Fed ending quantitative tightening. So I think the sell-off you're seeing in the crypto is the real tell-all to me. The sell-offs that we've had here is because these risk assets, so it starts with crypto, then it goes to the big tech. Okay, these are the leveraged risk assets that when the dollar gets stronger, Okay, and the dollar's getting stronger because the supply is being restricted. Okay, that's what's leading to the sell-off. So historically, these shutdowns have done nothing to the market. If anything, the market's up, but they've never been this long. The dollar amounts have never been this much, and I don't think equity markets have ever been this dependent on the liquidity coming from the government, which is unfortunate for many different reasons, different discussion, but that's what we're seeing right now. And so
when the shutdown ends, you're estimating, if I'm hearing you right, 2 to 3 weeks after that, the boost can continue.
Oh yeah, like then we're back off the races, and the markets will start reflecting the earnings that we've gotten.
Okay.
Like you look at how good Robinhood did yesterday.
Right.
Well, the stock's getting crushed. Like it just, you know, so you move from Bitcoin and all the crypto next to the high-flying tech, next to the stable tech, and then the last things are sitting out there. But that dollar strength, especially rapid dollar strength that we've seen over the last couple of weeks, that's never good for risk assets. So
super smart.
So before this kind of like took the rails off, I'm like, shut down the government as long as you want. But now, like me and my clients, we need to get back to making money. So let's get these guys back to work. I mean, you won your election. It was a pretty spectacular victory. Now you've made your point. You're not going to win the standoff. Now you're just hurting people. And I think you're in the era of diminishing marginal returns for the Democrats.
Smart. Thank you for that analysis. Loved it. Coming up, one of the world's...
And it's invasion of privacy, amongst other things.
So this actually started in 2017 with a lot of like right-wing influencers, like, you know, kind of like wackadoos you'd find on Twitter. And like some of them ended up not being wackadoos, but like Alex Jones started getting it. Like after Trump won in 2016, people get kicked off of Shopify. They get kicked off of Venmo. They get kicked out. They get their bank accounts closed. And like there's this guy, Milo Yiannopoulos, who's like this kind of bombastic dude. Like he got kicked out of everything, debanked everywhere. And these were like the test cases because like nobody cares about him. Nobody cares about Alex Jones. Well, then now you're doing it to Melania Trump.
Yeah.
All right. And it's like all of these things and everything we're talking about is intertwined because with business practices like this, the most important bank in the world, the most important bank in New York City, do you think it's an accident you have a communist who's now a mayor? You normalize this behavior by acting like this. You othering people.
There are laws, say, governing suspicious activities to prevent money laundering. And in the United States, to advance something that will make our lives better.
So that last little bit will make our lives better. Like, we don't quite necessarily know yet. If you've got like a mid-level white-collar job and you're now unemployable because your job can be done by some AI agent off of ChatGPT,
doesn't that further socialism, too, of what we're just seeing in New York City? Doesn't that drive... No, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, but...
My worry with you, and I love AI, is that it further drives people into socialism and this, quote, redistribution because AI is taking away our livelihood.
Yes, like these are... And like if we get to this super intelligence, there are massive questions about where AI is going. And then like purely from an investor standpoint, like I am pumped, like I am jacked, like been called the Super Bowl. I think a lot of these stocks are going to the moon. As a societal ill, like that's an entirely different question, and that's kind of like too big for my caveman brain to like comprehend that sort of thing. But like I appreciate the skepticism. I think it should be met with a healthy dose of skepticism at every single turn as to what it's going to do. And I think you're starting to see, layoffs and job cuts, especially at some of the larger players, because a lot of these entry-level jobs are going to be automated away. And it's like, why are we bringing in foreign students if entry-level kids can't get, kids coming out of college can't get jobs? Why are we doing any H-1Bs? Like these entry-level, low-level, white-collar jobs are going to be the biggest casualty.
They're not going to go away. They're going to have to figure out how to integrate the use of these AI agents. And that's what's happening in college right now. I know for a fact.
I mean, you talk about this, Taylor, the